Hey friend, welcome back to Grief Questions Answered. I'm Eric, and it's my goal with these videos to share everything that I've learned about how to survive and find support in that loneliness of grief, and how to intentionally get back up and live beyond the loss of a loved one. If this grief tip doesn't help you today, I'm confident it can and will help you at some point in the future. So be sure to save the video to watch it later on. And if you haven't done so already, click that subscribe button down below, as that is the best way to get notified of new videos like this and to help support the channel. And I want to dig in on today's question, and it comes from Jenny. Jenny emailed me a couple of weeks ago, and she told me that she was having a hard time as she moved into the second year of her grief. She asked me, why does it feel like the grief is hitting me so much harder into the second year? And I'm like, oh man, this is such a good question. And here's why. I remember the lead up to the first anniversary of Zoe's death, and it was probably one of the hardest parts and the hardest dates that I had to navigate at that point in the journey. But as I approached that day, I was thinking back over the previous year and how it felt when the first Valentine's Day came, and when my birthday came, and Zoe's birthday, and the end of the year holidays, among all the other ones, right? I braced for each one of them. And so let me ask you, do you feel like you've braced for each of those important dates in the first year of your grief? Because here's what I mean by bracing. When we are emotionally bracing, we are mentally preparing ourselves. We're anticipating and acknowledging that there's going to be some difficult emotions that come up in certain situations in our grief. And that bracing may produce a variety of responses in us, from isolating with family and friends to feeling like we're taking steps backwards, and even feeling like we're emotionally overwhelmed. And all of that, while it sucks, is unfortunately a normal part of the grieving process. And so back to when I was navigating the anniversary date, when it passed, it was everything that I just described to you. But it also felt like I reached a milestone of sorts. The first year was behind me, I'd survived it, and now going into the second year, I felt I could relax a little bit. But grief had a different plan for me. And it's kind of like those blue screen commercials where they say, but wait, there's more, right? And what I found was that the second round of these anniversaries and holidays and those dates were almost harder emotionally. I was crying again. I was struggling to feel grounded. I felt more alone, and I couldn't understand why. But then I figured it out, that I had just stopped using the tools that had helped me in the first year. And after I shared that story with Jenny, here's the guidance that I gave her. That instead of her stopping what was working in the first year, the second year is actually about building upon those initial coping tools that did work for you, and replacing the tools that didn't work with new tools so that she could feel steady and ready to carry on, because we are carrying on. Our journey isn't over yet at that 1 year mark, as much as we would like it to be. I also coached her to find new ways to continue to build her strength and resilience going into the second year, because this doesn't get easier, we get stronger. And Jenny reported back a couple weeks later that she had listed out what worked for her over the first year, and she got rid of some unhelpful coping tools and skills, and then she added some new ones into her daily routine, like journaling and walks. And it helped her cope so much better as she continued to navigate the second year. And so the grief tip here is assess what works, get rid of what doesn't work, and change and modify going forward. So as always, guys, I hope this helps. Do you have a grief question that I can answer for you? Let me know in the comments below. And by the way, don't forget to get your free grief support book, A Sherpa Named Zoe. Just head over to yourjourneyguided.com/free grief book. Tell us where to ship it, cover the $6.95 shipping and handling, and we'll send out your copy right away. Also, don't forget to click subscribe below. Let's walk together, and I will see you in next week's video.